So thank you, Kenny and Mae. It's worth noting that Mae was up all night with the CMA Awards and still looks absolutely fabulous at the start of this Zoom. Kenny has no excuse.
George. None. I'm going to bed right after this, if we're being honest.
Well, look, guys, welcome to Lyric Magazine again. We are fans of both of yours, and it's a sort of dream collab for us to see you both on the same song together. And what a song it is. It's a huge, huge ballad, Love You Now, and it's out today.
Yes. Well, why wouldn't it be? Because we're definitely not doing this the day before. It is out today.
No, it's definitely not. And so tell us about it, because in the PR that comes with it, you describe it as a soaring, feel-good 90s style duet.
What don't you think it is? I mean, you've heard it. Mae and I think I don't want to speak for Mae. I'm gonna let her do her thing. But like that was the country that pulled us in. You know, it was just that story-driven, character-driven songs. And I got together with Kirsty Manna, who wrote in that period. She wrote Austin for Blake Shelton, and like she's been down that road. She knows what she's doing, and we had a great time writing this one day. And we were just talking about how good that felt, and could we create. So we've got a channel over here called Hallmark. I don't know. Do you guys have that?
Oh yeah. Aren't they isn't that all Christmas films at this time of year now?
Exactly. So we just basically wanted to do the equivalent of a Hallmark song or a Hallmark movie in a song, and so we did. And I could think of no better voice to add than Mae Estes, and so that's how this came about.
And how did you feel, Mae, when he came to you with the idea?
So we've played writers' rounds together for 5 years now, and I'm one of those people. I don't have a lot of intelligence in my brain. I think it's just song lyrics. That's what I always say, because I literally can hear a song one time and know it, like forwards and backwards.
Wow. Yeah.
And so I remember the first time Kenny played that in a round, and I was like, oh yeah. And then, I mean, it was one of those, we left the show and I was still, the melody, before I even really knew the words, was just still stuck in your head. And I remember I had friends at that show that night that were like, what was that song by Kenny? Is it out? Like, it was just one of those where you could tell it had just that commercial melody that was going to draw people in, whether they listen to the words or not, which is half of the country music audience. They don't care lyrically. So I think Kenny and I both are still naive enough to think that you can reach those people with just a good vibe and a good sound, and then still impress the lyric lovers with a great story and a well-crafted song. And I think this is absolutely that.
And it's got all the elements of a great duet, hasn't it? It's got the drama and the sort of the passion and the story of we were once but we could be again, and it's just got every element of a great duet.
Well, I mean, we like to think so. But yeah, no, it's funny that Mae was saying that. Like, I think 90% of her and I's efforts in our music is towards the lyric. Yeah. And so it's almost like when you get that other 10%, you're like, yeah, how do we not screw this up?
And it's fun because I've never personally as a songwriter written a duet. But I feel like I've attempted it before, but it's never, well, actually I did write a duet. I wrote Common Ground. I forgot, but it wasn't a duet when we wrote it.
Sure.
I feel like most songs are that way. Like you don't get that idea when you're writing it. And so it's cool that this one wasn't accidentally just throwing a male and a female vocal on it. Like the story actually fits. Yeah, it's incredible.
In fact, that you've hit on something, Mae, I was going to ask there. That is it harder to write a song as a duet? Because I guess the structure and the storytelling has to be slightly different than just a normal song.
I think there are lots of important factors. I think even more than the layout of the song is the two people that perform it, that their styles either match well or just fit together well if they're super different. I think the interpretation is important, that they're interpreting the same story, because in songwriting, that's the beauty of it, is that you may hear this story and it's about, your high school sweetheart, or this might be, something deeper for you, or it could maybe not even be relationship based with another person. I don't know. There's just so many takes you can take away from it. So I think it's important that both performers are on that same wavelength, which so it doesn't get any messier than it already being interpreted a million ways. But yeah, like I said, I think it's awesome when you're writing it for a duet. You just make sure that it's headed in the right direction no matter what. And I don't know if was this a duet when you started writing it, Kenny?
I'll be honest, I'm not sure. Because again, I think we wrote it 7 years ago, maybe. It was just one of those tunes where the idea is great, and then once you start expounding and realizing that you can take it from a couple different angles, and then it's just a matter of once you hit that bridge chorus area, everybody needs something to do. You know what I mean? Because you've done your verse, and everyone needs something to do. And the real challenge, and I think the real payoff of this song is that the thing that they're doing is coming to that realization. And so you've had these two separate stories, and then we created the actual physical manifestation of them coming together in both the lyric and the melody, and then they got to share in that moment. And I mean, it's when Mae comes back and says the line that I'm not going to give away, but like that's the whole song. That's why you wrote it. What I
was just about to say. I don't think it's a proper duet until there's a call and response in the same line, and you guys nail it in like the final third of the song, don't you?
Well, I mean, I appreciate you noticing, but yeah, no, that's the whole payoff for me. I mean, because it's all move, and the track's moving that way, and then all of a sudden there's this, and everything opens up, and then she drops the bomb, and it's just great. I like it, but I can because it was 7 years ago, and it feels like it's somebody else's song at this point.
And did you manage to record it together, or did you have to do it separate?
We had to do it separate, because 'tis the season. Mm-hmm. We were originally going to put this out in May. I wanted to do it on May 1st for May Day. But it just the world got weird, and so we just waited. We were trying to figure out how everything was shaking down. But I'm glad to do it right before the holidays, because again, Hallmark's going that way. Let's just move music that way too.
Yeah. And for the two of you, have you got any particular, like country music has a great tradition of duets? And have the two of you got a particular favorite, either couple or song that sticks in your mind as the country great duet?
Mae, I'm gonna let you take first one.
Oh Lord. I have so many. I think I have more of duet pairings, like no matter what they sing. I really loved. Rhonda Vincent and Daryl Singletary did an entire album together, which I think are two of the greatest voices of all time. So I love that. And then of course I love Dolly and Porter and Conway and Loretta. Louisiana Woman, Mississippi Man, it's got to be up there. One of my most.
We get together.
And then I, of course, got to mention Does He Love You as a duet. It's not even a guy-girl, but I think that's, one of the best that'll ever be done, even female duets. So
well, she took mine, but yeah. That's but that's the thing, right? It's the ultimate, because they're both telling their story, and then it has to smash together, and they're both tragic in their own way. So yeah, that's a great thing. I'm stealing that one.
This one does put me in mind of sort of Brad and Carrie.
Oh yeah,
I'm not mad at it.
I'm getting Brad and Carrie vibes from you two on Love You Now. Definitely, I could see them doing that. Not as good as you, obviously.
They should. Well, they totally should. Yeah, we'll warm it up. Take it away.
Kenny, that leads me on to another question. You've sat on it then for 7 years. You've never farmed it out? Never tried to sell it to another artist, or?
Man, duets are weird, especially for a pitch. Because I think they have to, within the artist camps, they have to sort of happen naturally. And usually it's one picking up the song and then approaching another artist. I don't know how to pitch a duet. Do you know what I mean? All that to say, I've got one on hold right now, but I won't get into that. But like, it's just, it's a thing that wasn't happening when I wrote it. So I wasn't even worried about pitching it. Like, and making a test, when you're in the room, you're just trying to write the best song that day. That's all you're trying to do. And if you're trying to fit it into who's hot right now or whatever, if that's your first forethought, I think you're going to miss the mark. But if you write a really great song, then I think it finds its time. Yeah. And again, I think I just got antsy during this period. It was like, because I mean, I was working on my second record, and I'm trying to. It wasn't going to fit. It didn't match up with the theme and everything that was going on. And I was like, well, God, it's been 7 years. Like, it needs to have a home. And so that's how we got to be here. And luckily Mae already loved the song, which I love. And so it wasn't a tough ask at all. So I appreciate her doing it, because she slays it. I was actually really worried because I felt like she outsang me. So I had to go back and retake, 'cause really.
That's not what I thought you were going to say. I was actually really worried she was going to bomb altogether.
No, because you did. I was like, oh man, because we recorded separately, I had to go back in and be like, Chris, this will not abide. I did, and I went.
That's what was so fun though, was that I didn't have to learn the song. I wasn't reading lyrics, like I had loved it for so many years, and sang it with him for so many years. And I've learned Kenny's voice and his runs, and so it's not hard to match up harmony or anything like that too. So it was honestly just turning everything off except putting myself in that female, role in that song and just feeling what she felt. So that's the best, when you get to record songs like that you just know by heart. Then you can really focus on, translating that emotion.
Yeah. No, I know. And both of you've done an absolutely cracking job. It's a brilliant song, and I hope it gets the attention and the plaudits that it deserves, definitely. So I know you're both very busy, so we'll wrap up. Tell us both what you've got coming down the pipeline. What can we expect from both of you in the next few weeks and months?
Mae, you want to take it first?
No, I want you to, so I can turn my brain
off. So I went into the studio I've been in the studio in some way, shape, or form for the last 6 weeks. We're on first mixes of a new record, new full on project from me. 13 tunes slated for 2021, but as an independent, we're kind of looking at when we can start supporting that with a tour. I think releasing just to release is not going to be, which is unfortunate because these songs are burning a hole in my pocket. I can't wait for people to do it, but it's also giving us enough time to be really creative with how we're going to do the rollout. So I'm really excited for that project. I think it's going to rock some people because we went really, really big. I mean, there's at least one tune that has 13 instruments on it. So,
wow!
Like we just went for it, and I'm excited. And I'm not going to give too much information away, but that'll be coming out. And I just hope to be getting back to playing shows sometime really, really soon. Listening Room is doing some social distance things, and so we'll get back and do a round maybe next month. But I think that's about it. Oh, and there are more songs coming from this vintage collection.
Yes.
So
yeah.
Yes. So this is the first single off of it with Mae, and I'm so glad. It's the best way to kick it off. But then I've got some real soft solo acoustic guitar and me just stripped and straight for the song, and I hope that people enjoy all of the places that this project ends up going. So.
Awesome. What about you, Mae? Are you still in the honeymoon period?
Oh, yeah, that didn't really last very long for me. Luckily, he is believes in me more than I believe in myself half the time, and knows that this is our dream and our vision and our goal. And so we got back to work pretty quickly, in the best way, because that's the thing is I don't feel like it's work. Like even this morning, he came in before he went to work, and he's just like, "Oh, like are you okay?" Or like, I don't know, what day is it? And he's like, "Go back to sleep. Like if you need anything." I'm like, "Oh, I have an interview in like 20 minutes." He's like, why are you doing that? But it's like that's me. It's not working. Like I enjoy this. I love this. This is part of me. So it doesn't feel like working. So it was beautiful and a little bright light to get married, and we got to honeymoon in the Keys for a few days. So that was magical. But not a lot's changed. We feel about the same. But first of all, before I forget, thank you so much to Kenny for including me in this song, because I feel like the luckiest thing in the world, because like I said, this is one of my favorite songs, and I don't know if I've even told Kenny all the times that people have reached out to me. Not even friends that they're not mutual friends. He doesn't even know them. And they are super fans of the song. It's great. So I feel super lucky to fill that role that you could have closed your eyes and thrown a dart and picked any talented female in Nashville. And so thank you so much for including me. Then I have some super exciting news that I can't announce just yet, but with music involved. So it's a big, oh, my cat's going to start screaming now. Hey.
She's excited too.
It's exciting news, and it's just one more step up the ladder. We're slowly trying to climb in Nashville. So we were getting a lot of momentum, or I felt a lot of momentum as far as just kind of getting some good feedback and just kind of motivation to keep going right before the pandemic hit. So I definitely got in my little funk where it was like, okay, naturally I start to do okay, and then the world ends. Okay, that makes sense. But yeah, so I'm super excited about the future, and I haven't really gotten to tour much at all, other than when Kenny brings me overseas to play for the troops and stuff. It's casual, it's fine. Hey, I need you to calm down. Sorry. But yeah, so I haven't really missed touring because I haven't gotten to do it. If anything, I'm just like, please let me get the ball rolling. Like, I feel like this is the time I would have actually been on the road. So I'm anxious to get started at touring as soon as this is over, but I'm confident country music in general will find its way, and we already are, finding our new normal for the time being. And Eric Church's speech last night at CMA was just kind of a reminder for me that I think music will be the unifying thing no matter what. If it's a digital platform, if we do get to play shows, like, it'll reach everyone it's supposed to, and I think it's going to play a huge role in coming out of the pandemic.
Yeah, that's very eloquent and nicely said as well, Mae. So we both, next time Kenny comes over to the UK, we guess you can come with him as well.
I've never been, and I am sitting on go. I won't bring my cat, I promise, because she's. I'm ready.
Well, he's got a good fan base and some loyal fans and a nice, nice support level over here. So we can't wait to see the pair of you back in the country.
I'm for it.
And best of luck with the song "Love You Now." It's going to be a huge thing for the pair of you. I think. I do think it'll open up some people that have previously either ignored you or not shown enough love, and then I will hate the pair of you when you become popular, because as a music snob, that's what I do.
Right. We expect no less, James.
Yeah.
I hope that you hate us in a year and a half. I just hope.
I was a massive fan of James Blunt before he became popular, and then when his CD started selling in supermarkets and my in-laws bought it, I'm like, right, I'm out now. I hate the guy.
We're done. It's like the kids with Facebook. They were like, "Grandma's on, gotta get out of here."
Yeah. So if all goes well, this will be the last time we speak to each other.
I think you're safe. On my end, I think you're safe. I think we're gonna have to do it together.
That's the best thing you've ever said, James. I really appreciate it.